Hey guys, today we're going to dive into why Ohio Republicans are more into legalization than Democrats. But first up, since we're getting closer to legalization, or at least the Schumer bill coming out, we have more campaigns coming around that we're seeing with celebrities attached. And one of the new ones is Cannabis in Common, which has Seth Rogen, Sarah Silverman, and a comedian that I actually don't know. Her name is Jessame Peluso. Those three are teaming up for this campaign that is trying to get the word out on cannabis and just trying to show the common sense approach of it, which is that, like, most of us agree cannabis should be legal. Why is it not legal? And here's a little clip from the Seth Rogen video.
With the Senate about to consider a landmark bill that would legalize cannabis at the federal level and wipe cannabis convictions from thousands of people's records, their silence could end up being the difference. But here's the thing about elected officials. They actually spend most of their time worrying about getting re-elected. So when their inboxes and their phone lines are blowing up with constituents all rallying behind something specific, that is when things actually start to happen.
So we're going to see a lot more of that pop up as we get closer to this bill becoming unveiled, which it should within the coming months, I think. I think they're probably just figuring out what the right timing is to unveil it. Again, I'm of the mindset that I don't think this bill will get anywhere, but it will at the very least show us where Biden is standing on marijuana. Now, the main story is a poll that came out recently that is specifically talking to the lawmakers in Ohio. So it's not the citizens of Ohio, it's the lawmakers, which is even more fascinating because they're the ones that can get something done. And they were asked point blank, do you think that marijuana should be legal? And the decision that they could choose was yes, no, or maybe, or undecided. And surprisingly, Republican lawmakers, 43% said yes. 36% of Democrat lawmakers said yes. So more Republican lawmakers than Democrat lawmakers, and that is super surprising. Even more interesting, and it starts to kind of show the picture of why this is happening, is the undecided votes. So Republicans are 14% undecided on the issue. Democrats are 50% undecided on the issue. Now, what really kind of shows us what's happening here is more questions that they were asked. They were also asked if Ohio adults should be able to grow marijuana for their own personal use. And for that question, Democrats said yes 71% of the time, and Republicans said yes 21% of the time. So a huge gap on the other way. And then it's like, what the hell? Okay, so where's this coming from? Well, it seems to me that Republican lawmakers and Democrat lawmakers see the idea of legalization differently. Republicans see it as, yes, it should just be legal. That's it. Just end it there. Just that's all we have to do. Whereas the Democrat side sees it as a much bigger thing. There's a much bigger umbrella of legalization, which includes social equity, which includes funding and where to put the funding, and it becomes a much larger scale thing for them. We can see an example of this in the neighboring state, Pennsylvania. A GOP Senator Reagan, he unveiled his own legalization bill, and the legalization bill is very skeleton. It just basically says we should legalize and put some of that money towards like youth programs and law enforcement, and that would not fly for Democrat lawmakers. They want to see a lot more of that money go towards social equity and righting the wrongs of the war on drugs over the past decades, which the Republicans probably would not be on board with. So when it comes to the Democrats saying no to this or undecided, it's because they see it as a much larger, steeper hill to climb than the Republicans, which see it as a very simple thing, just like, yes, let's legalize. We're going to see a lot of that come into play when this federal bill gets unveiled by Schumer. We're going to see a lot of Republicans probably saying, yes, we agree that marijuana should be legal, but we don't want all of this other stuff combined, and the tax rate is too high, and all of this other thing around it, all the baggage. Some more examples of this from the poll for the lawmakers in Ohio. When asked if adults should be able to grow marijuana for commercial use, Democrats say yes 71% of the time, and only 7% of Republicans said yes. The rest, 86%, said no. Would legalized adult use marijuana create addiction issues? Democrats said for 50% of them said no. Republicans, 74% of them said yes. Every other question beyond that first question, beyond the first little kind of breaking of the seal question of should marijuana be legal or not, every other question kind of falls under party lines, understandably, but it's that first one where so many Democrats are undecided. It makes it really, really interesting and makes it a tricky political situation for Democrats to be in. And that's basically it for today. We'll be back next week with some more stories. I'll see you then.